Oh shit, you actually picked up. I'm genuinely surprised you did. I wasn't expecting to make it this far, to be honest. Well, since you're here, it's 2023 now, meaning we are now in the future. And it's honestly looking pretty not so great. But when it comes to horror films and games, I'd say I'm pretty damn excited. We have remakes of some classic horror games like Silent Hill 2 and Resident Evil 4 coming out soon. That FNAF movie that's been in development hell is finally in production and is being made. That shit has been taking so long to come out that when it was announced I was in 2nd grade and now I'm in my freshman year of high school, which is honestly pretty wild. There's one thing about the future of horror media that I'm really excited for the most though. But please allow me to give some context before I divulge into my insane ramblings.
Over the weekend, I had some friends over to hang out and stay the night. We all had decided to watch this new movie we had been hearing good things about called Skinamarink. And I'm just gonna be frank, the film fucked with me. The film hit me on a personal level. It's about two siblings with bad things happening to them, and they have no control over it or no idea what's going on. I can't stand to see innocent kids be hurt, but the scenery, cinematography, editing, sound design, and the analog horror aspects are really good and cool, I think. It's a really good film that I would totally recommend, but that's not what this video is about. On February 6th, it was announced that a film adaptation of Kane Pixel's Backrooms YouTube series was in production. If you haven't seen his Backrooms videos, you should totally check them out, dude. I'm not gonna lie, they're personally not my thing, but I will admit they are very high quality and have a shit ton of potential. But that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is the impact these films can, and hell, already have had on horror. Skinamarink is very much an experimental horror film that uses childhood trauma and childhood fears to create a deep and rich atmosphere, all in a simple home that you would see the average American family living in. It preys on the everlasting fear of the dark that still tears away at children even to today, but it also bites the hand of 90s kids. Skinamarink takes place during the 90s and uses nostalgia as a weapon, and it does all of this in such an interesting and weird and experimental way. It's art. I can't say as much good shit about the Backroom series, but like I said earlier, it has a shit ton of potential and it is spooky. It is definitely scary. What's my point in telling you this? Well, it's because we're now in a new era of horror media which comes with a new whole breed of horror. It's an understatement to say that the beginning of the new decade was rough. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that they were some of the worst years of my life personally. The feeling of being trapped in your own home with no escape really fucked with a lot of people and was a new scary feeling for them. I'd say the fear led to the growth of analog horror in many respects and especially impacted me through my watch of the Mandela catalog. Now we're in the year 2023 and the COVID-19 pandemic is starting to slow down. We're finally catching something close to a break after all of this shit, and lockdowns aren't around as much, yet the horror of Skinamarink and the Backrooms is really popular and is making a big splash right now. And I genuinely believe the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic contributed to that. Yes, the new horror does have their critics, but compared to all the praise, it's viewed in a pretty damn good light. Not to mention, this new breed of horror media is kind of timeless in a way. To younger generations, older analog technology is something they aren't fully used to, mainly because it was before their time. It's unsettling and freaky. It's old, but it's new to them, which is scary. To older audiences, this is a blast of the past and a reminder of what their childhood was, a forgotten memory that no longer exists. It distorts and morphs those memories into something scary. Because of the use of analog technology, the formula is timeless, because younger generations will now grow up with this new breed of horror, and then the new generation that has this new technology will be introduced to it the same way the previous generation was. I think that's a good thing personally. Not only is it a good formula and super creative, but also gives different generations something they can all have in common, which, with how divided we are nowadays, is a good thing. Analog horror, in a broader view, isn't really meant to scare you. It's not the basic horror formula of ooga booga, scary scene, then jump scare, you know, the whole suspense thingy. Analog horror scares you because it's only trying to disturb you. Sometimes less is more. In a way, it's kind of the reverse of show don't tell. I find the horror sequences and jump scares in the Mandela catalog better when compared to regular horror films. It sticks with me more. Am I saying this is the future of horror? Nah, I doubt that. Besides, if everyone did this type of thing, it would get saturated and wouldn't be as cool as it once was anymore, which would suck. It would become just one big massive trope. However, I do think that more horror media taking inspiration from analog horror and more analog horror based high production content is on the way, and I'm all here for it. It's something new, and to be honest, I find it incredibly terrifying. I'm interested in what these new films and projects will be about, what they'll say, what they'll do. I'm hyped, you could say. All this is wishful thinking though. I'm just talking based on my hopes and the info that's been given to us by production companies. Only time will tell if the awesome analog horror content river will keep flowing or become a dry spout.